Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Asher, and I'm joined by Jaume. So we're from Flexii. And all right, so here's a scenario. Okay, imagine it's 6 a.m. in the morning, and a cruise ship has just docked, or a flight has been delayed, like releasing 800 transit passengers to your terminal. What are you going to do? You're going to need like 12 promoters, 4 stockers, and probably 2 more cashiers. With Flexi, you can post shifts at 6:01 a.m. and by latest by 8:15, you can get all of these shifts filled. All of this without having to do paperwork, without having to manage the payroll, and absolutely no interviews involved. That's what we do at Flexi. So the thing with travel retail is that it lives and dies by demand spikes. So we're talking about holiday seasons, brand activations or sales promotions, all of these sorts of things. But the hiring model hasn't really caught up yet. So you're either extremely overstaffed at, let's say, 11 a.m., or you're scrambling around at 5 p.m. So Flexi is workforce on demand. And here's how it works it's really simple. So as a business, you post a job. We have a group of vetted workers that apply to these shifts. They show up to the workplace and then they clock in. This is geo verified, so you know that they're actually there. They do the job, they complete the job, and then they clock out. After they clock out, they get paid only for the hours that they have worked. Again, there's no paperwork involved and no interviews involved. And most importantly, you do not have to take care of the payroll. So through this, headcount becomes more of a faucet rather than a hire.
Thank you, Asha. So where does this actually fit in travel retail? Here we see 4 shapes of demand. First of all, retail floor. Cashiers, sales associates, stockers for duty-free shops or terminal stores, either airport or ports. Warehousing as well. Bonded warehouse stock taking, inbound, outbound search support. Events and roadshows, either in the street or airport, port, brand promoters, samples, demo staff in airport for airport activation. And also, last but not least, hotel and lounge, F&B services for hotel, housekeeping for airport, hotels, and also for premium lounges. So this is one platform. One platform, 4 different shapes of demand, but all of them unified in Flexi. So here are actually how the numbers look like for the last 1 year with us. We achieved a 5-minute fill time for S3 details. This means that since the moment that the business posts the shift, it will take 5 minutes at a median to bring a worker in, a eligible worker. Our workers have achieved as well a 4.8 out of 5. This is the feedback, the satisfaction from the businesses, almost 5 stars for the workers that work in the store. And also, one thing is very critical for us, the match rate. In retail across all 3 markets, because as we mentioned, we are in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Singapore, 95% match rate. We will come back there and see how we engineer this later. These are workers who arrive, work, and they also got paid after their job. 1,500 filled vacancies for warehouses. Okay? But in Taiwan, where we are bringing the language, the knowledge from, almost 5,000 in the last year. So yeah, why are these numbers actually different from other generic gig platforms? So most platforms have a problem. They want quality, right? Anyone can apply, but there is no real cost of the no-shows. So what happens if the worker just doesn't show up or arrives late? Sometimes it can be critical. So in Flexi, we want to solve this in 3 different ways. First of all, ensure quality at the gate. It means that every worker passes an automated screening, SOP-based onboarding as well. We want to make sure that they understand what they have to do in every of the shifts they work for. Then our platform is designed for them to ensure commitment. This is either for loyalty, our loyalty system, and we have a very strict penalty point system as well for the one that misbehave or they do not like or reach on time, as I mentioned, or basically no show. Okay. And third, AI-powered operations, either for our customer support or our replacement tools in the case that urgently we need to replace the worker on the shift. So let me show how this looks actually in practice.
So here is how we've actually engineered this more than 90% match rate. So on the left-hand side, you'll see that we actually have an AI-powered interviewed screening. So how this works is each of our worker, before the shift, they need to go through an AI-powered screening in which we do role fit, language proficiency, situational judgment. All of this is automated. This ensures quality from our workers that show up to do the job. The next thing, and kind of building on what Jaume mentioned earlier, we have a nice gamified system through a loyalty program. So workers who consistently show up on time and with good ratings, they climb tiers and get priority access to premium shifts. Lastly, we have a very coherent penalty and rating system. So every late cancellation, every no-show, all of this costs the workers. If you hit a threshold, you get suspended immediately. So all of these three systems put together, they compound. And the pool gets cleaner over time. And this is the main reason our numbers are different at Flexii. So all in all, if you run a duty-free floor or you're looking for a brand activation or you're just looking at how to change the way you do your staffing, please feel free to reach out to us. We're situated at one of the booths outside. Or if you want, you can also scan the QR code that's at the bottom right of your screen, and we're happy to help. Thanks, everyone, for coming and listening to us. Thank you.